40 years ago, former Commonwealth Attorney-General Lionel Murphy had a vision for a system of legal aid in Australia. Today, due to lack of funding and support by successive Commonwealth and state governments, thousands of needy Australians find themselves without access to basic legal assistance. However, should legal aid be considered more as a social responsibility as opposed to a government initiative? Lawyer Lily Chen believes that lawyers and law firms should offer more pro bono assistance to those less privileged who genuinely require assistance. You believe it should be more of a social responsibility or a conscience thing for lawyers to provide?
That's correct. This is my personal belief and a personal opinion. Because when the government's funding of legal aid is not really available, I think all the lawyers, Australian lawyers, they should consider to take the social responsibility to provide a pro bono work and sign up with family court or children's court.
At current funding levels, many people who fall beneath the poverty line do not qualify for legal assistance. The 40th anniversary of the establishment of the Australian Legal Aid Office provides an opportunity for politicians of all parties to reflect on social equality and ensure access to justice for the neediest and most vulnerable of society.
I think it's one of those problems that if you put some more money into the system, it wouldn't hurt, it would make a big difference. But it's not just a case of throwing more money at legal aid, it's a case of let's have a look at where the real problems are and see what we can do.
I haven't had experience of legal aid in Australia, but I think that people who are on very low incomes should have the same access to justice as people on higher incomes.
You only have to look at the number of judges in the family court to see that hasn't increased since 1975, but the population in WA has doubled.
Do you think there'll be groups who will suffer more than others being unable to gain access to legal aid, children or any other groups?
Yeah, I think of course is those people who, jobless people, probably single parents and children. The lawyers should provide pro bono legal representation to those more vulnerable.
Lawyers Weekly reports the chair of the Victorian Bar, Fiona McLeod, as saying, the federal budget allocation of $30 million over 2 years to legal aid commissions won't make a dent in the sector's underfunding crisis. And also that the cuts had resulted in criminal trials being postponed, children being unrepresented in family court matters, and former partners cross-examining each other in court after violent relationship breakdowns. Do you think this will cause inefficiency in the justice system?
Well, that's for sure. I think probably legal aid, part of the reason is that because certainly individual lay people, they are not legally trained and qualified, so they don't know how to comply with the rules of the courts and the procedure and so on. And therefore, the justice system, the court system certainly will be seriously impacted.
If something happens, they're dragged into a legal problem, often unwittingly. Maybe they were named as a defendant, but they just can't afford to hire the representation that they need for the small size of their claims, and it's an almost impenetrable system in some ways.
This is Fiona Diggins reporting for Undercurrent.